Well, Claudine, let me just kind of paint the picture here. We're on South Tryon Street and Hill Street. I will tell you there's probably about 50 police officers in their riot gear. They were blocking the street so protesters didn't go back up Hill Street and get back on I-277. In just the last 2 minutes, they hopped back on that bus. But I want to tell you something. I've been out here for a couple nights now doing these protests, and I've heard a lot of people getting in officers' faces screaming at them. But I saw something about 5 minutes ago that was very unique and very touching to me. I saw one of the protesters who's been out here for the last 3 days actually come up, it sounded like you were saying a prayer, and actually gave a hug. I want to introduce you to her. What were you doing? And at first, were you saying a prayer? What were you doing to that officer?
I was praying for not just the one officer, but for all of them.
Your tone is a lot different than a lot of other people we've seen out there. We've seen a lot of people getting face to face. Why did you strike this different tone? And then at the end, you guys embraced, and it was a very emotional hug. You guys embraced for a little while.
Those officers are people, and I'm a person. And basically, I was just praying for God to watch over them. And I have been out here over the past several nights, and I was never a violent protester. I was always peaceful, because I understand that these are violent crimes. These are serious situations. Lives have been lost, but not all of those cops are bad people. It takes that one person to mess it up for everybody. And now, because of these situations happening in our town of Charlotte, it's really affecting their lives just as much as our lives. They're being threatened. They're every day out here on the front lines, putting their lives at risk to protect us and to keep us in control. And we're just trying to, a lot of people are just being very violent about the situation. And I feel that since we're here, we should all come together.
And one of the things I've been trying to point out is that a large majority of the protesters who have been out here have been very peaceful. They've been vocal. They're trying to get their message across, but they're not violent. There are those who are getting most of the attention who are violent, but this wasn't one of those cases. When you gave her that hug, what did she say to you, or what was she doing?
When I hugged her, she said, "Thank you and I love you." And to me, that meant a lot. I don't know that officer. I don't know her name. I don't know her life story. But for her to take the time to hug me and to actually listen to me pray for her safety, it meant more to me than anything, because I was praying for her life just as she was out here fighting to protect mine.
Excuse me. All right. Well, hey, thank you for talking to everybody. You're painting a different picture than what a lot of people are seeing on TV, and it was emotional not only for the two of you, but for all those people who are watching. Even you could see some of the other officers looking over and watching you hug, and I think it was definitely a moment that meant a lot to these officers out here, to know that there are people out here, they're trying to say what they're trying to say, but they're doing it in a peaceful way, and to get to see that prayer and to see that hug, I wish all of you could have seen it. It was very emotional, and it kind of changed the feel out here for at least me and for those officers who were here. Claudine?
Shawn, thanks a lot. I appreciate that, and I appreciate those women's comments as well, because you're right, tonight seems to have a different atmosphere from the beginning.